What's going on, everybody? Matt Malatesta and Jack DiPasquale on my whistle special edition. Bam! It is National Signing Day Wednesday. And we're going to break this whole thing down as it relates to the city of Houston. Here's what we know. 65 kids from the city of Houston signed with Texas in-state universities and colleges. Great for them. How about that? I mean, like, everybody's like, oh yeah, high school recruiting's dead. It's kind of dead, but this was the first signing day. 65 in-state kids, which is impressive. And then we're going to talk about, we got the map. We're going to bring the map out, show you who went where. Dozens more go across the country. All right, so general takeaways from signing day yesterday.
Yeah, first off, just congratulations to all the kids who signed yesterday. It's a special moment for those kids, their families, friends. So congratulations, y'all. Overall, I'm very impressed with the stat we just said. 65 kids signing to in-state colleges, universities. A lot of those universities, there were 3 in particular that did really well. We're going to touch on them here in a little bit. But overall, not a ton of flips, as you kind of see during signing day. A lot of kids locked in with where they were going. And I think that's what we start to see now with the NIL era, as these kids already kind of have their deals locked in and what they're going to get and all that good stuff. But overall, signing day I thought went very well.
It's like Christmas for these kids because, I mean, like when they sign, they're signing, and a lot of them are getting packages, NIL packages, which is really crazy to think about now. But a couple flips. Cade Phillips from Hightower goes from LSU to Texas. Then we had Jacaden Ferguson from Fort Bend Marshall. He goes from Kentucky to Arkansas. We had Eli Marcos in a strange story. The Lake Creek quarterback, he was committed to Tulsa. The Tulsa coach gets fired. He ends up going to the A&M Texas game. He starts getting some, good vibe over there, and he commits to Texas A&M. He also got offered by Utah and Texas State. So good for him. But this thing moves fast. The recruiting game moves fast, especially when the portal opens up, or people are announcing they're going in the portal from colleges. Now, colleges are looking for those high school kids. So, a lot of moving parts. Let's talk about the first moving part is the NIL. We were seeing online about, let's just take Cade Phillips, for example. LSU had him at $800,000, and Texas bumped him up to $1 million. And he went to $1 million, and LSU just said, hey, that's too rich for our blood. This happens all over the country. So that is kind of interesting how the NIL, new coaching hires, you brought up a good point about the assistant coaching hires.
Yeah, though a lot of kids do move because of head coaches getting fired, that's a big piece. But I think an even bigger piece that no one really looks at is the coordinators and the position coaches. These are the guys that are building these relationships with these kids. So when these guys get let go and they take another job, it makes it a tough decision for the kid because he was locked in with this guy. He built the relationship with him. This was his guy, and now his guy is gone. So you look at a guy like Hayden Caston, who's at Iowa Colony. He was committed to Hawaii, decommitted, and last week or a week and a half ago, flipped to North Texas. North Texas defense coordinator is no longer there, the guy he committed to. They hired a new defensive coordinator, and now Caston is decommitted, looking for a school to go play with now. It's kind of one of those things where when you get these late fires and late hires, can you keep the guys that are already committed locked in because they thought they were playing for this one guy or this one position coach? And then on the flip side of it, with the new hire, do you want to keep the kid who's in that class because he's not really a guy that you necessarily recruited? So I think that is an aspect that no one really talks about that much, but it's a huge deal for these kids, especially the ones who are building relationships with the individual position coach.
Talk to parents, and they say recruiting is not for the faint at heart. We were at the North Shore signing day. They had a bumper class. They had one of the best classes in the history of that school. Devin Sanchez goes to Ohio State. You have Charles Ross. He goes to LSU. Quanell Farrakhan goes to Colorado. You had Nigel Pringle goes to Arkansas. You have Hardeman goes to Rice.
Jordan Fields goes to Pitt, and then Jacoby Ism goes to ULL. and I believe their defensive tackle signed as well yesterday.
Stephen F. Austin.
Yes.
I mean, dude, they were loaded. And they're still playing in the playoffs. So they're excited about that.
Yes. Also, Dion DeBlanc, we forgot to mention, he
Wyoming.
signed to Wyoming as well. That's a huge class for this North Shore team. To say you have 9 guys, I believe, signed Division I scholarships to go play, there's not many teams. There's a hand, literally, you can fit them into your fist with how many teams there are across the state that can say they have that many kids signing on signing day. So very impressive.
Caleb Bailey has not signed either, the star quarterback, and he could end up either at New Mexico State, UTEP, somewhere is going to get a really good quarterback.
Yes.
So let's go to the map, Jackson. Here comes the Professor Glasses. Okay, this is at scale the United States map. Okay, so we're going to take you around the country. So you're going to use this pin first because you're over there on the West Coast. Over on the West Coast, who goes to Oregon?
You would have...
Just put your little dots.
I'm going to guess it's right
It's
here.
more corner.
Right here.
There we go. We go there.
So Oregon, you have Dorian Brew, a 4-star corner from
Conroe
Conroe
High School.
He's going to Oregon. Then you have the 2 Cy Ranch players, defensive end and offensive lineman.
Oh, yeah.
They go to Oregon State.
Yeah.
And then also the surprise of the year in the city of Houston, Toby Hostrup signs with Oregon. This was a big kind of last week trying to figure out where he was going to go. He dropped his top 5. This is a big get for Oregon long term, as he is still very raw, but the upside for this kid is going to be incredible. So Oregon got a steal there.
I don't even know if this guy knows how to play football, likes football. He just started playing football. He's going to the number 1 team in the country right now from Maid Creek. That is a wild story. Okay, so we got some Oregons, we got some Oregon States. What about Wyoming? We talked about him a second ago.
Wyoming.
Give me the dot.
You have, I'm guessing somewhere right there. You have Dion DeBlanc from North Shore. He signs. I think this is an explosive playmaker for this Wyoming team, who's been really having a really good senior year. So I think that's a steal for Wyoming.
All right, let's go to California. We've got Tanuk Hines going to USC from Dekaney.
Somewhere right there. Tanuk Hines, big playmaker. He'll be a big piece for Lincoln Riley's offense, I think, in the next couple of years. Track kid, too. Elite speed.
Let's move down to Arizona. Wesley Yarbrough, you think is a big... Where in the hell you think that is? I didn't know Arizona. Arizona be down here. Wesley Yarbrough from Crosby. Tell me about him. You like him.
What? Big kid, physical runner. I think the best part of his game is he can come out of the backfield in the receiving game. He's going to be a guy that I think you see go from Texas to Arizona and make huge plays in the Big 12. I also look at a guy that also just did that recently, Kidrick Riscano, who was at Ole Miss, transferred to Arizona. He had a nice year this year. This could be another situation where Wesley, a Texas kid, is able to come in there and make plays and make an early impact.
Riscano from New Caney High School. Okay, so let's go up a little bit into Colorado, Rocky Mountains. Draw me some mountains. Can we get some mountains in there? Hey-oh, Rocky Mountains right there. We going Quanell Farrakhan goes to play for Dion, Coach Prime at Colorado. Dual threat type of guy. Could he be the next Hunter?
I think he has the ability to go both ways. I'll be interested to see how Colorado uses him. He's been electric this year on offense for North Shore. He's been a huge piece and a big add for them in the offseason as we've seen his stats, what he can do in the punt return game, special kick return game, wide receiver. They have put him in at corner here lately in the playoffs to get a little bit more experience. Not necessarily experience, but kind of plays under his belt to get ready potentially for Duncanville or whoever they play in state. So I think Quanell's a great add for Colorado. He fits what they're doing, and he's a part of a really nice class that he's been able to kind of help recruit a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's really good. I mean, I think this guy is very, very dynamic. He played a little bit of defensive back at the Woodlands also. Great ball skills, so watch out for him. Could he be Travis Hunter? We don't know. But, hey, he plays multiple positions. All right, New Mexico State gets Broderick Malone from...
Atascocita.
There you go.
Broderick Malone, 6'6", wide receiver, big, tall, vertical threat, good hands, actually really good speed for his size as well. I think this is a steal for New Mexico State. He could be a guy that plays 2 years, 3 years, hits the portal, ends up at a bigger school that maybe missed on him in the high school cycle. Definitely a guy I would watch out for in New Mexico State.
All right, we're going to Oklahoma. Oklahoma had a good class, right? Oklahoma got some, not steals, but they hung on to Ryan Fedoji, the big offensive lineman at Bridgeland. Torrey Blaylock might be a big-time OU running back here in the next couple of years from Atascocita. And then Cortland Guillory. They got 3 high-value players out of the city of Houston.
I think they're 3 high-value players, but they're 3 players that are also very underrated in the city of Houston. Torrey Blaylock gets a lot of love, and he definitely does. And I think that Torrey will make an early impact based off of how we've seen the OU running backs look this year with some issues with turning the ball over and stuff. Torrey is the complete package. He'll be able to catch the ball out of the backfield, make an impact in the run game. Ryan Fedoji is the guy that I think could be a guy in 3 years that we're looking at, and he's a first-round draft pick with how we've heard Lonnie Madison talk about this guy. I think this guy is the guy to circle and watch in this class. Obviously, they've got Michael Fasusi coming from Dallas, but I think Fedoji is the guy to watch out for. And then Cortland Guillory, don't sleep on this kid. He had a huge senior year, got Klein Oak into the playoffs, played a little offense, played a little defense. Big-time playmaker that I expect to excel at the next level.
We're going a little bit north. We're going to Nebraska, one of our favorites. We had him on TV on our Hitchcock versus Belleville game. That is Malcolm Simpson, the defensive tackle end. I don't know what he plays, but the guy is going to be a really good fit. It's going to be cold up there, but he is a dog.
Yeah, he's a game wrecker. Really liked when we saw him against Belleville. He was able to make an impact on that tough Belleville double wing offense. Not a lot of teams are able to stop that run game. He was able to do that. I think Simpson has got a great fit with Nebraska. I think the coaching staff is really excited to get this kid. I would be shocked not to see this kid make an early impact in his first 2 years.
Okay, Andrew Marsh going to Michigan. That's an interesting. That was very important in the election. Michigan and Ohio coming up. So Michigan, Andrew Marsh, a receiver from Jordan. Can he stretch the field? Does he have enough athleticism? I think he does in the Big Ten. Is it the Big 10 or Big 20 now?
I think he's a great fit for this Michigan offense. I think he's a guy. He's a long strider, great route runner. He can beat you off the line if you're running press man. The interesting thing will be to see how they fit him in their scheme. I think he's a great possession kind of wide receiver that can make the big play and get open on the big play. I'm interested to watch his development and see what they will do with him next year if he is able to get playing time as a freshman. It was a big deal for them to get him out of this class, so especially with Bryce Underwood, #1 quarterback in the country, coming in, I think Marshall will be a favorite target for him whenever they start to hit the field together.
He's got a big personality also. He's got, the bleach blonde hair, the whole thing. It's kind of cool. Okay, staying up there in Midwest-ish, let's say the #1 player in the city of Houston. He's kind of a big deal. Devin Sanchez going to Ohio State. He could be a pro. I mean, you look at him now. You look where he's going. You look at his personality. You look at his skill. You're thinking that guy will be playing on Sundays.
Yeah, I think this is a guy comes in, gets playing time as a freshman. If not, he's rotating in. He's been the top cover guy in the state since his sophomore year, and I don't expect that to stop anytime soon. That relationship that was built with Ohio State, he had been committed for almost a year, signed with them on Wednesday. The loyalty he has shown to that program, he's been a big recruiter in this class. Devin Sanchez is going to be a big-time player for the Buckeyes and a potential first-round pick in 3 to 4 years.
Ooh, that's a bold first-round pick. Okay, here's what we're going to do. This whole area we don't care about because they don't even play football. That is not even – who plays up there?
Syracuse.
Barely. They barely play. Rutgers, terrible. Nobody trying to play up there. So we're going to come down. Well, I'll tell you, we're going to go somewhat to the south. We're going to start at Arkansas, one of the coolest and greatest voices in the city of Houston. This guy is straight out of the New Orleans wards. His voice is amazing. Nigel Pringle from North Shore, the defensive back. He's going to Arkansas. I think this is a great fit as well. He had a tremendous season at North Shore that nobody really talked about because he transferred in from Shadow Creek. I think this guy could be a big-time playmaker for them.
He's a steal.
Yeah.
Steal for Arkansas. You're getting a great coverage guy out of Nigel Pringle. He can also help you in the return game potentially. He had a huge 102-yard kick return touchdown against Summer Creek earlier this year. Elite speed, good ball skills, playing the ball in the air. Guy that I could see as a freshman getting a little bit of early playing time, but definitely a guy long-term is going to make some big plays for the Razorbacks.
Great name, Nigel Pringle. That's my favorite name. Jacaden Ferguson, we talked about, he flipped from Kentucky to Arkansas. Thoughts on Ferguson from Fort Bend Marshall? A lot of athletes come out of there.
I think Ferguson is going to excel at the next level. I think he has a lot of untapped potential, as polished as he seems. I'm curious where Arkansas is going to play him because, you know, he had been getting recruited at DB and wide receiver. He's a long kid, 6'3", 6'2". I'll be interested to see what he does at the next level, but I expect him to make an impact early.
Okay, this is just my... Okay, here we are. We're going from Arkansas right down the street. Louisiana Tech. Who do we got?
We got Willis's Jalen Mickens. He's been a big-time playmaker for the Willis offense the past 2 years. Guy that can play in the slot. Great after the catch. Physical runner after the catch in the slot. And also has the speed to get open and make big plays down the field. So I'll be interested to see what La Tech does with him. I think he's a guy who could come in early and make some plays. And also another guy, you never know. In 2-3 years, he hits the portal, goes somewhere bigger. So I really like the fit for Mickens with La Tech.
Okay, Charles Ross, LSU. Let's just put a little something right there. Something right there. He's one of the top linebackers in the country. Rangy, really fast, great attitude, smart player, North Shore polish. I'm interested to see how he does that.
I think he's going to do really good in that defensive scheme next year. I think he's a bigger Harold Perkins type of player, impact player on the defense. He's got the speed. He's got the track speed at 6'2", 230. And his senior tape has been really impressive. He's really started to put it together, playing inside the box. He's going to be a guy that I think LSU is going to be very happy they're able to take this guy out of the city of Houston.
Holla at your boys, Section 425. I'll be up there. I'll be watching. Okay, so down the road, not a lot of Bama, not a lot of Ole Miss, Mississippi, not a lot of Mississippi State, rather, not a lot of Georgia. We had a couple of Georgia kids last year. Florida. This is now what we call DJ Lagway. That's the new name of the state, DJ Lagway. It's not even called Florida anymore. So, big, kind of a flip we didn't talk about. Another great name.
Muiz Tunkara.
Muiz Tunkara. You can't make that up. Okay, so thoughts on him. Really good receiver. Had a big year. He was committed where?
He was committed to Arizona, and it was between Arizona and Wisconsin before he committed to Arizona this summer. Then Florida jumped in it late with an offer, I believe, last month. He got down the campus. This is a guy I definitely believe had some conversations with DJ Lagway whenever he got to the University of Florida to go check out the game day visit. This is a big-time playmaker, 6'5", long, lengthy wide receiver that's got some good speed to stretch the field. He could be a guy that Florida definitely will look at to get some playing time early with his size. Might need a little development in the first 2 years, just adjusting to the college game, but I think this is a kid that can make an early impact.
Just throw it up to him. He can go get it. Florida, no longer the Gators, the Fighting DJ Lagways. That's what we'll think. We'll just keep Florida as the name. Finally, not a lot of North Carolina, not a lot of South Carolina, not a lot of Virginia, blah, blah, blah. We got a couple right here. Boom. We're going to start right here. This is Katy High School's offensive lineman heads to North Carolina.
Yeah, Byron Nelson had a really good year. Did get hurt late in the year. Didn't play in the last playoff game against North Shore. But it'll be interesting to see. You know, he locked in with his commitment after Mac Brown got fired. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. But I think that North Carolina is getting a good offensive lineman prospect. I'll be interested to see how they're able to develop him.
Another offensive lineman going East Coasty at Pitt. Jordan Fields from North Shore. He's not huge, but he's athletic. He's not heavy. He's kind of athletic. He almost looks kind of like a basketball player, but he's going to be playing offensive line there. Good fit, weird fit. Pitt doesn't really recruit that much in the city of Houston, but he's happy about it.
Yeah, I think this is a good fit. I think he's a great. You look at his measurables. He's going to be a good fit there. They'll add some weight to that frame that he's got already, and then I think that he's an aggressive type of mean, nasty kind of guy. I don't know if he'll play tackle at the next level. They might try to move him in interior, playing guard, but he can play tackle. He's got good footwork, good speed to be able to play at the tackle position. I think that's a good fit for him, and we should expect him to get some playing time here in the next 2 years.
How about that? To scale, Texas, 65 players in the state of Texas. All right, so look, the professor has done his work. We'll talk about
But
Texas.
the professor also forgot one more person in the state of Louisiana.
Yes, a University of Louisiana.
Lafayette.
or UL, let's call it that. UL now.
Jacoby Ism from North Shore, 3-year starter for them. You'll see him play a little bit of guard, maybe even some center at UL. Very excited to see what he does, as he's been a big piece of that North Shore offensive line the past 3 years.
Okay, so that is the breakdown. That's the board. The board. That just happened. First time ever. We're going to start bringing the board out a lot more because it's got a lot of value. And we just inform the community of where all these kids are going. So, state of Texas. Let's go around the horn really quick. Texas Tech gets Lloyd Jones from Hitchcock, ACL'd. So he's going to get on campus. He's already graduated. He's going to get on campus, get that rehab cooking. Nice quarterback of the future. I'm not saying this maybe right now, but it's a nice quarterback of the future. UTSA had one.
Tech also had Patrick McMath, offensive lineman from Katy. Another big-time kind of Katy offensive lineman. Very interested to see what Coach McGuire and that offensive staff and offensive line coach do with him down there.
Then you've got UTEP had 4 or 5 kids. The kid, Jordan Andrews from Yates, how about that, going to UTEP, which is in El Paso. Do we know where El Paso is? That's not even in the state of Texas. I'm not even sure that's in the United States of America, but he's going there. UTSA, did we talk about them?
UTSA had one kid, Ty Roop from Grand Oaks tight end. Big, tall, 6'6" tight end. He's been committed there, I believe, since the summer. So that's a good get for them. Kind of long, rangy kind of tight end. We'll see how he does at the next level. He did battle some injury bugs in high school, so we'll see how he does in college.
The top, the kind of the cream of the crop is University of Texas. They got Jonah Williams. Really, he is a blue chip player from Galveston Ball. You had the flip from Hightower.
You had Cade Phillips. That's a big. And here's the thing that Cade Phillips.
That's 2 DBs.
Yeah, but Cade Phillips was committed to Texas originally, flipped to LSU, then flipped back to Texas. I think these are 2 guys that will be good pieces for this Texas defense. Both will be kind of safeties. Maybe Jonah plays a little bit in the box or plays around the box a little bit more as a safety. We'll see kind of what Texas wants to try to do with him. I know that when talking to him, they want to play him at safety, and I know Phillips can play safety or corner. So these are 2 premier guys in the city of Houston going up there to join that defensive back room.
Smith Orogbo from Hastings. Me and you, man. That's a flyer. Yes,
no.
It's a flyer.
I
Total
think
flyer.
no.
And he ACL'd, so he's going to have a little time.
He'll have a little bit, but I think there's a lot of
recover.
upside with him. You look at the length, you look at the pass rush ability. He's still a little raw. He's got good speed coming off the ball. He could be a guy that almost like a Toby Hostrup going to Oregon. Like, he's a guy that you look at you turn on the tape and there's some good things you see on tape. Get him in a college weight room, get him into the program and build him how you want him because he's still raw. Build him in the way that you want him to look on the defense line.
I'm a maybe. And then what I'm not a maybe about is the Dekaney tight end. I think he's going to be really solid. Dekaney puts out a ton of guys that are really raw guys also, but man, he's going to be solid. So that's UT. TCU had a ton of kids, 10 kids signed from the city of Houston, which is a lot. led by Summer Creek's defensive end.
Yeah, Chad Woodfork, he's had a big senior year.
He's nice.
He's going to be a nice piece for them off the edge. Good pass rush ability, good speed, can hold the line of scrimmage on the edge. I'll be interested to see what they do in the weight room. He's not by any means slim or skinny, but there's a lot more you can put on that frame, and I think that will add more value to him as an edge player. I'm also looking for Adam Scoble, the quarterback from Columbus. He's a guy I would watch out for there at TCU. He's done some great things in Columbus, getting them to the regional final, and now I'm expecting him to do good things at TCU as well.
And Columbus is 3A?
3A.
That's side-eye. Okay, then let's just best recruit going to Baylor.
Caleb Burns is the guy that I think that when we look back on this class and you look at the linebackers, you look at the defensive prospects, Caleb Burns is going to be a guy that a lot of these big programs that started kind of trying to jump in late are going to wish they wouldn't have jumped in late and been on it early, because this kid, talking to a lot of people around him and some linebacker trainers, this kid is the most college-ready kid out of all the kids in the city of Houston. He's going to be an early impact guy. Speed, athleticism, quick to his reads, good tackler, can bring the boom. Also had 6 touchdowns defensively this year.
That's ridiculous.
He is going to be a guy that Baylor is going to be very happy to get to campus and have on campus next year.
Cypress Falls Golden Eagles. How about that? Okay, so that's who you like there. Okay, so then let's go to U of H. I think Austin Carlisle is going to be pretty good, but they did a good job on their defensive line. I thought, they picked up the 2 guys from Fulsher. I think they're pretty good at that level defensive linemen, but I think they were pretty balanced, and they didn't have a great season. They kind of started to get going late, beat K-State. I think Willie Fritz is going to be okay.
Yeah, I think the big one that everyone needs to circle and remember this name, Carmelo Brooks at Pato.
Big time.
Was awesome to watch this year in the interior. He's a leader on the D-line, can wreak havoc on the D-line. I think he's a guy that in a few years we'll be circling, looking back at why not a lot of programs didn't take a chance on a kid. Maybe it was this size, but, this kid can play some football.
DeAndre Hardman from North Shore going to Rice, and Tate Myers, 2 pretty good running backs. He's coming from Lake Creek. That's not bad for Rice. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball with their new head coach. So I think that's kind of a good fit for those 2 little guys. They're not big backs, but I think they're going to be set there.
Yeah, but you're also adding them with Taji Atkins, the kid from Westfield last year, big time. So you got 3 running backs from the city of Houston that have been kind of, as far as stats go, have been the top guys in the area at the running back position in each year. So I think those are 3 big-time playmakers for Rice, and I think Hardman, that's a great fit for him. I think that he's going to do great things once he gets to the college level.
Okay, so you are a Texas A&M fan. Everybody knows that. Who is your favorite top 3 A&M recruits?
I'll kind of just go one by one. And
oh my God, this is going to be 4 hours.
No, it'll just be the 3. Landon Rink is a guy that has been kind of the vocal guy of this class. I really like what he's doing. I really like what he did this season.
Did you?
Yeah, big time defensive player on the interior. Can also move out to the edge. I think he's probably a DT at the next level. I'll be interested to see what Elko and the defense line coaches do with him. He's a guy I'd watch out for. DJ Sanders at Belleville.
That's the guy.
This is the guy that I think will be a game wrecker. Game wrecker on the interior. Can go sideline to sideline, has good speed. Pretty much unblockable at the 3A level. And yes, a lot of people will question, well, he's coming from the 3A level. Well, if you look at what Terry Bussey did from going from the 2A level to going to SEC football and having an early impact, I don't think DJ Sanders will have to make too many adjustments to the game. So I like those 2. And then I'm really liking Jonte Newman. Watching him, he's nasty. He talks his talk. He backs it up with his play. It might take a year to develop a little bit, but he's a guy that I expect to get some playing time at some point and really like what he does on the offensive line.
So there you have it. I mean, that is, if you want recruiting coverage in the city of Houston, you just got it. That was a download mind dump. You just got mic dropped on. Okay, so that is who's who, who's going where are they going across the state of Texas, where are they going in the United States of America. We have done this many, many times before, from DJ Lagway to Jalen Hurts, bang, bang, to Ed Oliver, boom, Westfield, went to U of H. Who is the next big guy? Okay, who is the next Devon A-Chain? Not a running back, doesn't have to be a running back, but that guy who's, bam, in the NFL for sure.
And if you're looking at this class right now, I think you have to look at a guy like Keyshawn Henderson from Legacy School of Sports and Sciences. He's committed to U of H right now. This is a kid that, I mean, you turn on the tape and you watch what he does at the quarterback position. It's very impressive, the tape he put together this year. Then you look at what he can do at wide receiver too. I think this guy is going to be a big-time playmaker. Can U of H keep him home? I don't know.
This is the 2026 class.
Yes, 2026 class. I think Keyshawn Henderson is a guy that we'll look back on this class, and he's a guy that could easily make it his way to the NFL.
No, I don't think so. I like Jermaine Bishop from Willis.
And I do too.
That dude is a dude, and he's fun to watch, and he's Percy Harvin. I mean, he is Percy Harvin. I mean, I don't even know what he is. He's just so fun to watch, and he's so athletic. And he's kind of like the kid that's at Alabama right now he's like a contortionist with his body. He can do virtually anything. So Ryan Williams at Bama, I think he's going to be really cool to watch in 2026. My question was, who out of this class goes to the NFL?
2025 class.
Yes.
If I had to pick one, I'm picking Devin Sanchez. I think Devin's very polished already. I think he'll only gain more once he gets to Ohio State. You look at the DBs Ohio State has been able to put out into the draft and the caliber player Devin is. I think that he comes in early, plays early as a freshman, definitely a full-time starter by sophomore year, and you go into that summer junior year, he's going to be rated as one of the top guys. That's my expectation. I think Devin is definitely a guy we'll look up at, and he'll be in the pros.
That was my answer. Devin Sanchez was my number one. Number two, I like Jonah Williams. I just don't know where he plays. I can't. Is he a safety? Is he a outside linebacker? Does he like to tackle? Is he a receiver? Is he a corner? He's too big to play corner. So I think raw athleticism, but without a position, and that's dangerous when you go to college, not having where are you going to play.
Well,
Harold Perkins is a great example. Running back, defensive end, outside linebacker, inside linebacker. I don't know where he plays.
Well, he does know he's going to be playing safety at Texas. That is why Texas got him to commit and why they got him to sign, was because he wants to play safety in the SEC and be the starter once he comes in as a freshman, and that is the expectation for him. Now, we'll see kind of how that all works out. Sometimes coaches promise a lot of things, and it doesn't always work out that way. But I expect to see him playing safety next year. I wouldn't be shocked if they try to use him on offense or kick return game either. He's an electric playmaker with the ball in his hands. So we'll kind of see. That's one to keep an eye on. I think Jonah, the ball's in his court with where he can take his talent going to the next level. I think he's a guy that can go pro. We'll have to figure out kind of how Texas uses him, and I think that's at safety right now, but that could always change.
Okay, there you have it. Our recruiting segment is now at a halt. Alex Henson says, you need to wrap this thing up. It's 2 hours. It's 2 hours of dadgum recruiting talk, but I do think people like it. Okay, so much going on. This is only the first signing day. Now everybody pretty much signed for the most part. But stay tuned. We'll keep you updated on all the other recruiting news coming up in the next couple of weeks and couple of months. This is Matt Malatesta, Jackson DePasquale on my Whistle Recruiting Edition. See y'all at the game.